right. Okay. Today's date, as I said, Wednesday, April the 24th, 29th, excuse me, 29th. And I had set up, Bev, I gave you our episode info today, and we're going to do that. Path to Freedom, privatization. We got, we're going to go to my website, and we're going to go through it. I'm getting too many calls, too many questions, and we're going to deal with it. I can't take it. It's too much.
Okay.
So let me, before we go there, I want to go to Baltimore for a moment. I want to go to Baltimore. And
yes,
I want to talk.
Let's travel to Baltimore.
Go to Baltimore, yes. Now, Baltimore is very, very important in our history because you recall I gave a couple of classes. I talked about Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman. They all came out of that Maryland area and that East Coast so-called 13 colonies, United States. We need to understand that United States and America are two different entities. No one gave them permission to call it United States of America. No one gave them permission to do that. They did that to snowball us as they stole our land. Now, number two, I've always said that the northern states, or better yet, the so-called 13 colonies, they created white supremacy. They created white racism. They created the 1724 Black Christian codes. All of that was done in the 13 colonies. I have an ebook on my website. It's called They Were White and They Were Slaves. The first slaves, as you know it, came from the 13 colonies. What's going on in Baltimore is nothing new. The European knows exactly what he's doing over there in those colonies. They know exactly what they're doing. It's the blacks that are not in the know. And I get upset when I look at those crises that's going on, and no one is hitting the issue where it should be hit. Everybody's talking about curb the violence. Everybody's talking about we need to give a chance for everybody to cool off. All of those anti-reactionary comments that never has worked. You've heard nothing new in Baltimore that you didn't hear in Ferguson. You didn't hear in New York. You didn't hear in Cleveland. And if you want to go back 47 to 50 years, that you didn't hear all over United States, especially in the Detroit area. The riots are no coincidence. If you're going to let me keep kicking your ass, one of these days you're going to grit your teeth and hit me back. It's simple. It's all a game. And we fall for the same trash every time it happens. No one comes up with anything new. No one. Now, that Eric Dyson came up, they interviewed him. And I saw it on one of them, MSNBC or the other, CNN, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But he brought up some points that should be the cradle of the entire crises of Baltimore, and that is who created that neighborhood that they live in. Who created that? How did it come about? Why is it that there's nothing for the children to do? Nothing. Playgrounds are gone. After school activities are gone. Graduation is a joke, because once you graduate, what are you going to do? Go back to the community? High school dropouts are high. The unemployment is tremendously high, almost matches Detroit. And they're trying to isolate it as if it's just a northern city that's having a problem. And then they go get them jackleg ass preachers to come out with all that old Uncle Remus talk that we got to pray, we got to have vigils, we got to march, we got to do this, all that madness. I'm telling you, as Malcolm said, I said it and I'll say it again. If you don't get your head on right, you're going to be in the same boat as it is in Baltimore. Now, what should be done? What should they be doing in Baltimore? Well, first of all, let's look at it the way it is. The police department are strategically creating the crises so that they can look like the good guys. If you recall, for 6 days they had peace and calm. The day of the funeral, around 3:30, all hell broke loose. Now, the way they put it on TV, you probably don't know what caused that hell to break loose. And I'll tell you, and they're saying it now, if you listen, if you know what you're listening for. Mm-hmm. They're saying that the police department went to the schools, the high schools, the kids, and set up a perimeter around the school 10 minutes before they came out the door. They did it again today. That's why I wanted to change our topic to deal with it. There's going to be hell to pay tonight. It's going to be hell to pay. If you got a TV, just turn it on. You don't have to turn it up. Just turn it on. Go to MSN or go to that other one, CNN, and look and see what's happening. The children are marching. They're going into the downtown areas. They went down to the police department areas. All of the police are standing by waiting on that sun to go down so they can institute their strategic military police state on that neighborhood so they can show the world that niggers will be niggers when they're niggers. And they're playing with dynamite because they're dealing with it with the young kids. And I know those mothers. There's not too many mothers like the one we saw wailing that young boy's head the other day.
Right.
Well, she did a job. She did a job on it. But
she did that out of fear. She did not want nothing to happen to him.
And mothers will do that, and I praise her for that. She saved his life. She saved a prison record that he may have encountered. She should be praised for saving his ass from being whipped by the police department. All of those things were definitely in the making, and she didn't want her little son to get hung up in that, which is understandable.
Now, I also heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that they have some kind of chemical that they're using in that tear gas that they are putting in the crowd. It's some kind of chemical warfare stuff that they're using.
Well, I haven't seen it all, but I've seen tear gas. I've seen that mace. I've been sprayed with mace. But I've never seen that orange spray that they had last night that I saw. Okay. Was it last night or the night before? It was they had it like a spray. And they didn't care if they got it on you. They just trying to get it in the air. So I don't know what that was about.
That's probably what I heard about. That's probably what they're doing. Okay.
Probably. But nobody talks about what the problem of Black America really is. Dyson was the closest. He attacked the corporations. There are no jobs to be had anywhere in that a ghetto area where it happened, and very few jobs in the entire city of Baltimore. And whatever jobs are, you know and I know that the Europeans are going to get first shot at those jobs, and by the time it gets to the lower class, you really got a problem. Now,
sound like you're talking about Ferguson.
Well, we could be talking about Detroit. It's all over the United States, but you're right. It sounds like Ferguson. Now, I saw Freddie Gray's mama today and heard her talk today for the first time. Did you hear or see, have you ever seen her or listened to her talk?
No, I haven't seen her.
She cannot read, she cannot write. She lost another son 18 months ago in street violence.
Mm.
Her and the husband lived in such a squattling environment in a house, or they was renting a house, that a lawsuit was put in, and they were given financial financial monies, because the house was full of lead and the paint caused, now this is what they said now, the boy and the children were suffering from that brain, from smelling that stuff. And they were slow to understand. Now, the boy itself, the one that got killed, the latest son, he had a police record that was a mile long. However, one of the newscasters said that, it wasn't. It was a brother-in-law, one of the daughters. I don't know how many children she has, but there's a twin sister I know to the dead Freddie, and then there's another sister. Anyway, okay, I understand that Freddie was a hustler. There was no money coming in the house, no income. Mama couldn't read or write. The house, I don't know. It was bad living. He was in the street. Whatever he could do to make $1, he did. That's why his police record was so long. I saw it on a video. And I saw also that his latest attorney, court-appointed attorney, told him that he needs to go in and stay in the house, because if he gets arrested again, there's no telling what they're going to do to him. This was before the killing. And it looked like that the lawyer was trying to make it clear why he ran when he saw the cops, because he thought they was going to stop and arrest him, and the lawyer told him, whatever you do, don't get arrested, because your record's so bad, they're going to throw the book away. So anyway, he ran, and then everybody knows what happened after that. Now, we need to talk about the police department. No, before we talk about the police department, let's talk about that mayor that was in prior to the two black sisters that were mayors. His name was O'Malley. He was in the Mediterranean on a vacation when it all broke out, and he came back in the city, and they said he was booed at certain places because he set up the entire police system. What's that? Morning Joe at Beckerwood said, in which I have to agree. You don't hear white folks say this. They said that his record was so bad that they called him Giuliani on steroids. Now, you don't get any lower than that. They say Giuliani was the worst mayor that ever called himself a mayor when it came to his constituents and the people. He brags about crime dropped 30%, but he never said that he had X number of thousands of black folks locked up where they had a no tolerance situation, that if you looked at a police officer, you got locked up. But they said this damn O'Malley set it up. He's got I've been trying to get a name for it, but you know when you play Monopoly, you get that $200 do not go to jail card. When you go past jail, collect $200. He set up a program like that for the police department. And what it amounted to was anything that a police officer does, number one, he can get suspended with pay. Number two, he cannot be questioned at all during the 10 days. Number three, when he is questioned after the 10 days, I may have this a little wrong, but y'all need to look into this. If he is questioned after the 10 days, the lawyers are not allowed to use anything that he says in court. In other words, when you do get a chance to interview him to find out what went on or what's going on or what his police report says, You're not allowed to use it because the information is off the record. Now, think about that for a minute. Now, 2 days before the riot broke out, or I think it was a week before the riots broke out, the city of Baltimore paid out over $5 million in fines and penalties for abuse on the neighborhood and black constituents in the community. And they spread it over 60 different cases. $5 million that they settled out of court for. So now, think about this. We're looking at, you're talking about a plantation. You're talking about Jim Crow. You're talking about black Christian code. Right now, they have over 300 people locked up, and they only have brought charges against 100. And all of that came from the original night of the night that they had the burns and all of that. They arrested 37 youth and 210 adults, and then it rolled from 210 to 3 something. And right now, they don't even have charges. And they're going into another one tonight, another crisis tonight, that they're not sure what's going to happen because the students are making it clear they ain't caring about no damn curfew. Well, you turn on and come to your own conclusion. Mm-hmm. Now, the worst people, in my opinion, that's the worst enemy to the entire crisis are, you know what I want to call them, but let me get a better name so we don't start no riot. We're talking about those Negroes that act like there's nothing wrong and we should not be in the street. You see them all the time. I talked to several of them right here in Detroit, and I just cuss them out. I just naturally show out on their ass. But what they do, they position themselves to say, well, if you really wanted a job, you could find one. If you didn't, I don't care if they search me or my car, I don't have to ask for my rights because I don't do anything wrong. Y'all have heard them statements made. Those are people that live in our community. Those are ones that you see every day. Those are your enemies. Those asses that say stuff like that. And that's what the European and the corporation prey on, those types of comments, because they build off of that. And I was talking to Jonah today, and he brought up the crisis, and I asked him, did he know or ever hear of a black mayor name was Wilson Good? And he said no. Now, Jonah is a very educated individual. Well, actually, I said Wilson because I couldn't think of his name, so that might have thrown him off a little bit. But my point in bringing it up is Wilson Good was the mayor of Philadelphia. He had a white chief of police. They were trying to get a organization called MOVE, M-O-V-E. They were trying to get them out of the neighborhood. Do you recall that, Beth?
Yes, I remember that.
1985.
Yeah.
Wilson Good approved. Listen to what this nigga did. Wilson Good approved of a incinerator or let's call it a dumpster full of it's some type of chemical, fiery chemical, and told the police that they could drop it. They put it on a helicopter and it had chain. I'm still looking at it today, 1985. They flew that damn helicopter over that house and dropped it down on that house, burned up the children, and literally burned up the entire neighborhood. Yeah. Then Wilson Good got on TV and said the chief of police tricked him. He didn't know that it was going to do all that damage. Now, I'm bringing that up because we got a similar crisis right now in Baltimore. I don't think that young lady She may be a good politician, and she might be this, that, and the other. I have nothing personally against her, but she's dealing with a bunch of crooks.
Yeah.
And although she has a black spokesperson from the police department, I'm not sure, but I think that chief is a European. And I'm telling you that they can come up with some ideas and plans, because they're going to cause some issues tonight that are not going to be explained very good. And a lot of people going to get hurt. I can tell you that right now. And it's frightening just for me to think about it, because I've seen it done before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and there's not much I can do. If somebody out there got friends and relatives in Baltimore, I would advise you to call them and tell them, get away from them police officers, get your butt inside their homes and stay in there. Because now listen to this. They were building a $16 million old folks home of some nature, senior citizen building. Not only did they burn down the building, on the other side of the neighborhood now, it wasn't nowhere near where the riots were. They burned up the church. Now, y'all think about that for a minute. Same thing happened in Ferguson, Missouri. The leading spokesperson for the community, they burned up his church. That's where they were meeting.
Yeah.
You know, y'all got to quit thinking that these damn cops are some good guys. They're crooks.
Well, they even, in Ferguson, they even had a film. They showed the video of the police burning up one of them sites. They were setting things on fire. It wasn't the looters. It was the police.
Yes. Yes.
And somebody caught it on video.
Yeah. Yeah. And from the voices of the community about that CVS, that was the only store in the neighborhood. And all of a sudden, it started burned down. I was told, and especially in Detroit in '67, 85 to 90% of all of the fires were caused by the police department. Why would they do that? It's simple. The name of the game when you have a crisis like this, a riot, is to destroy the economics of the black community. So they have to take the money uptown and give it to the Europeans.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Most people don't look at it. Most people don't think about it. Most people say, Ron, you crazy? I don't care. I'm tired of talking to them.
If you live long enough, you will see it.
Yes, you will.
Because they do it over and over. They do not change their plan. They do it over and over again.
The only persons who win when it comes to a race riot are the corporations. And they're probably trying to teach CVS a lesson for going in there. You dig it? They all have to stick together. I'm telling you, they have to stick together. They don't want one store to open up where they're going to get all of that business, because black folks are sick. You know what I mean? I'm talking about physically sick. So they need those prescriptions, they need those goods and all that kind of stuff. So if they can freeze them out, make them come up to the white community, they're going to make more money. But if one of the corporations like CVS, Walgreens, or one of them get out of line, it does not surprise me to even think of the fact that the corporation engineered to set it on fire. Get it out of there. Y'all got to start waking up to this madness. Now, one more thing. There was a movie that was made back in, it had to be in the 50s, mid-50s. It's called Battle of Algiers. It was very difficult for me to find it in English because I was telling a brother about it, and then I got a hold to it. The first copy I got, it was in French. But anyway, They banned it. Think about this, Bev. They banned it, the movie, out of United States back in the 60s, around 66, 67, 68, 69. They banned it, the movie. I saw it in the basement of a church over on Woodward. They showed it. Now, why did they ban it? Because they exposed what the police and the military will do in order to control communities. How they pit people, groups against groups. How they murder and kill and blame it on the other group. All of the dirt that I know that can be done, I've seen it. And hey, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up. That's all I can tell you. And if you know somebody, I'll say it again. If you know somebody in that area, you need to call them and tell them to get in the house. Leave it alone. You know, leave it alone. You got to come up with some strategies that's going to really hurt. But see, when you deal with youth,
some new strategies.
Yes. Change your conversations. Change the words that you use. Stop using those slave terms like slaves and stuff. Now, let's go back to the book. They were white and they were slaves. The reason the word slaves even came in United States, because when they set up the first colony in 1604, it was known as the Virginia Company. And some of the first immigrants that came were Yugoslavians. There was some. I can't name what was in that area, but the low class people, the Slavics, were known as slaves, and they lived it. It was like a caste system, just like they call us Negroes. They called them slaves, and they were the ones that came in. And when they came in, they did the same thing that they do now. They caused a lot of chaos, a lot of devilment, because when you look up the early years of the 13 colonies, they kind of skip from 1604 all the way up to 1619 when they said the first slave ships came in. You know, they always like to use that. I think it was 1619. And then they go up to 24 at whatever year that Jamestown was so-called founded. Well, they skipped almost 10 years of stuff. Why did they skip it? Because they had lost control of the Europeans. We had nothing to do with that early slavery. Nothing. We didn't have any idea what slavery was. And believe me, there's a difference between a slave and a servant. I've been to Ghana, and I almost slipped and called them slaves, but it dawned on me, they were honorable people. There was no burden for them to work or else. None of that went on. They just had the jobs of chauffeur, cooks, housekeepers, lawn keepers. They were known as servants. And they were very cheap because they come from the tribes. There's no money. They do more bargaining in our nation, in our culture. Bargaining is the name of the game, not Wall Street. None of that kind of crap went on. But they taught us through Hollywood about the slaves and the money, and we got hooked. A lot of us don't know the first Wall Street was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was set up by black folks. But that's another program altogether. So, do you have any questions on this, Beth?
I do have a caller, so I'm going to open this line here. Area code 301-403.
Hi, I'm Coretta from Maryland.
Okay.
And I was the comment about Baltimore before it hit the fan, but before everything went down. They don't show you that when they was marching peacefully, they don't show you that the police went up to them and throw rocks at them. That's when all the stuff. That's when it went crazy. They were throwing rocks first. But they're not going to show you that on the news. They're only going to show you on Facebook. But they were throwing rocks. That's what happened. But they're not going to, like, again, they show you what they want you to know. And they act like Baltimore just got raggedy. It's been raggedy since I drove through. I mean, I don't even like to go to Atlantic City because you got to go through Baltimore first. And Baltimore, the town is like a dead town. It's like a ghost town. It almost looked like Detroit's twin sister because it's dead there. There's nothing. The buildings are broke down. I mean, there was nothing there before. You talking about they burned that CVS? They only had that one store because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Baltimore always been rough. It's always been beat up since forever. They never had a. Matter of fact, they have a program even now. They pay you $20,000 just to move there. That's how bad it is in Baltimore. So it didn't just get there overnight. It's always been that way. And then I just bought your book today. They were white and they were slave. I'm looking at my ancestry, the census for my family. And the first time we showed up was in 1850. The 1840s, because before then, they wasn't counting us because we was not a part of them. They was only counting white people. They was only counting who was white was free, who was white was a slave, and so on and so forth. But they wasn't counting us because we was already here. And the way it goes, my family goes, my great-great-grandfather, whatever number it is, his name was Belford Azell. And he wanted to go to North Carolina. He's from Virginia, and his father told him, if you go down there, if you don't get caught forever, he will be free. But what they don't tell you is Belford was white. If he was so free, why would he be scared of going down there and get caught to be a slave? They don't tell you. That's crazy. But he was white. Yes. He was a white person.
Right,
they say whatever your mom is, the child is too. And the Azells, they were white and they were indentured to Henry Turner. That's who they was indentured to. They wouldn't say indentured servitude, but you know what it was. They were slaves to Henry Turner, who was already there.
Wow.
So y'all keep on. I keep telling people, y'all don't have to listen to me. I even tell my kids, never listen to me. Do your own research. But it's in the family tree right there. You're not gonna see our family history for the female side because they're more patriarch and they keep track of the male side. But the male side came in as slaves, and our family, and all of them were white. My family still have lands to this day. It's still in the family, and they were always there. And then again, the person who make the records and pick out the kid's name and stuff, she will come to you, and when the baby is born, if you were too light, if you were light, you stayed in the woods. I mean, almost in the woods. It seemed like it was in the woods because they grew tobacco. So you had tobacco all around you. If you were dark-skinned, you stayed towards the city. And my mother said, I don't know how you grew up in the country and you don't know how to do nothing. You don't know how to grow. You don't know how to sew because she didn't do all of that stuff. She didn't do all the stuff. Only the light-skinned people did. She was book smart because the darker you are, the better you live. You light-skinned, you was in the field and you'd work. And that's how it was, and that's the truth.
And you're talking about approximately 1840s and 1830s. It was like that because we controlled everything in our own land, America, going into the Civil War. Once the Civil War started and they flipped and ended, they flipped the script. That's why they came up with that Jim Crow and all of that, because they had to make it blacks in the fields and whiteys moved close to the city. Wow.
Exactly.
Good grace. Woo! I appreciate your call, sister.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you, caller. Ron, we have another call.
Yes, let's get it. Okay.
Area code 314761.
Yeah, peace and love. This is Saeed.
Peace and love.
Yes, sir, brother. How you doing?
I just want to add to the show, we might want to look up, do some research on all surnames, because it's very important. Like the woman that just got off, she was talking about the patriarch. And I want to say this. We don't need to get one-sided on the female and male aspect. We need to understand or overstand the male and female aspect. When you understand what the surname means, it's called, you can look for the patriarch surname or the monarch surname. You can look these up of the different subject matters of surnames of how they're doing the shift of these surnames, such as the slaves or those who are not using a birth certificate correctly as a trust. That's the Baltimore. That's the Ferguson. So they doing the ship. They getting their comeback off the trust. This is when every organizations get their come up. All organizations that involve themselves in those situations because it's about abstract from the account. That's what it's all about.
Wow.
Money. When they say it's about money, it's about getting your account.
Yes. We need to hear more of that. You're going to be on a program tomorrow. At what time will you be there, Sire?
Yeah, I'll be on Yusuf tomorrow at 12 o'clock so we can get to the core of this. And you hit on it a little bit about the mother. This is about the accountability and responsibility that has to be emphasized greatly because the is what it is that the mom is signing the child over and is abandoned and she's a snitch, labeled as that. We know she don't know, but it has to be attended to so we can start bringing some type of resolve.
Yes.
You understand?
All
the fathers are not doing that particularly. Do you understand?
All right.
It's not, and that's not a one side. I'm not trying to make it a female-male war. We got to see what it is when it's in these contracts. That's what's relevant.
Okay. All right.
Do you understand?
Well, listen,
we got to deal with what's relevant.
Yes. I'm going to announce your program again in the next hour. So I appreciate your call, brother.
What's the name of the program again? While we got him here, what is it?
Is he still there?
High frequency radio on Yusuf L. Natural Law Show tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow, Friday at 12 o'clock noon.
Yes, 12 noon.
Thursday, 12 o'clock.
I mean Thursday. Excuse me, I'm ahead of myself.
And it's
okay.
Yep, and it's on high frequency radio.
Frequency? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, high frequency radio.
Okay.
424-222-5250.
Wait. Say it again.
I got it.
Oh, you got it, Ron? Okay, Ron.
Yes.
Ron will give it to
I got it. I'm going to announce it next hour. So we can get
thank you.
All right.
Thank you, caller.
All right. Yep. I got a caller. Bill.
Okay.
757-6100. Do you have a question or comment?
Peace.
Peace, brother. Peace. You have a comment?
Peace to Ms. Bev, Mr. Ron. How are y'all today?
We're great.
Very good, sir. Yep.
Good.
What's on
I
your mind?
Just wanted to. Oh yeah, yes, sir. I just wanted to I guess respond to what the sister had said earlier on Baltimore.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is Mike. I'm in Virginia, and
you're right. You're right there.
Yeah, I'm very close. And, I'm from, the East Coast. I've been up and down. And so actually what I wanted to respond to what the sister said was her comments on Baltimore. Actually, early in the early 1900s, Baltimore was kind of like Harlem back in those days and everything.
Yeah.
And, it was actually, a hub, for black culture and much like Harlem in the 30s and the 20s and all that. And, you can check out different documentaries that talk about Baltimore and, one of the main thoroughfares in the city, Pennsylvania Avenue, was where, a lot of, our businesses and our, kind of our downtown area and all that was in that part of town there. And, it kind of followed the same script of most of the cities where, they were able to, like you had mentioned earlier, shut down our businesses. And then, once they mess the economics up, they bring the drugs in. And it's like the same thing over and over again, like Ms. Bev has said. They do the same thing over and over. It's like, they only have a few tricks in the trick bag, like we have spoken of previously.
Now you're talking about segregation. It sounds like in the 30s,
I'm pretty sure that's what.
And yes, I lived. I am very fortunate with my age. I lived during segregation, and I lived during integration. And I would really go back to segregation yesterday. But when they came in with it and made it such a fanfare, and we all flocked without thinking, all of our so-called leaders fell for the okey doke, and as a result, we wasn't as smart then as we are now. But I don't know if that's a good statement, because I'm of age, and I knew what happened. But you're right. All of those industries and all of those money-making cash cows that were set up in the 30s, 40s, and 50s was done by black people. And the European came in, and first he tried to buy it. I tell you what, Harlem, was that Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor? Was that Harlem Nights?
Yeah, that was Harlem Nights.
Yeah. Y'all need to look at that. That's a true story. But the thing is, the fire. Now notice they set Richard Pryor's joint on fire, and Richard and them was cool enough to go back and burn theirs down. But the bottom line is, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That's what this brother's trying to say, and that is, they come in and burn us out and then take over our business. Every time they do that, same program. Go ahead, brother. I hate to cut you off, but go ahead. Give me a couple more seconds here.
No problem. I just wanted to also add that you had spoke on Wilson Good from Philadelphia, the mayor, and the police chief was Rizzo, and I was able to catch a documentary.
No, I thought Rizzo was the mayor that Good beat, wasn't he? Or was it? I'm looking at it. Former mayor, he defeated former mayor Frank Rizzo in a racially polarized primary election. Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. I stand corrected. So, but I grew up, outside of Philadelphia in New Jersey, and I remember, being, a kid, a child, watching the news, after, at home in the evening when that went down, when they bombed Move in the house that they were in Philadelphia.
Yes.
And it was very interesting. I actually, maybe a year or two ago or so, was able to catch a documentary on Netflix about Move in Philadelphia at that time. And they were actually, like everybody knows about them, they're a cultural group and everything, but they were actually studying the law like we do, trying to get the police, get remedies and relief from the police harassment and brutality.
Yes.
And, they were, and the police moved on them like they did the Panthers, just, they would harass them, run up in, their building and shoot at them. And so, they were actually studying law to try to find.
It says here that they dropped that incinerator bomb and set 4 city blocks ablaze, killed 11 people in that house, and left 240 people homeless. Now, isn't that something? All right, brother, we appreciate you. Yep, we appreciate your call, and we got to keep moving on. We're getting close to the top of the hour. But Bev, do you have?
Yes.
You have another caller?
No, not at this moment. And also, I want to say, if anybody that's out there that's from Baltimore, call in and give us the real news, not that propaganda that we're hearing on the station.
Yep. That's wonderful. Okay. Well, the reason that I even thought about Wilson Good was exactly what that brother just said that called in. I got another caller here. Let's take it. 804-1249. Let me open him up. 804.
Peace, Brother Rob, and Sister Dublin. Look,
Greetings.
Move, they came to Richmond, and they did the same thing to the people. They turned the people against the people, man. They did the same thing.
Wait. Move came to Richmond where? Virginia?
Richmond, Virginia, on Churchill and historic Churchill. And they made a big scene about it.
Did they burn them out? How did they get them out?
No. No, they ain't burn them up, but they did it like how would you say? Well, you know how they make their move. They turn the people against. They turn the people. Yeah. Yep.
Turn the people on them, and then the people don't get all the stuff.
And those people won't messing with nobody.
Yeah.
I was in the 7th grade then.
Wow.
That was like 77, 78, something like that.
Yep. Brother, I'm telling you, if we could get a good history to everybody understand what that European has done to us, we would not tolerate this madness. We have so much power just in unity. We don't need guns. We don't need none of that. Why do you say that when they come up, read the black codes, and they don't talk about guns and killing white people. They got certain things that they don't want you to do. And those things are power bases for you to learn and use them. They don't want you to look them in the face, you know. They don't want you to be more than 3 or 4 in a group at one time. That type of thing.
That's energy. That's energy.
Yes, it creates power.
Yeah, and another thing, you're right. They don't want us in a group because we used to gather in front of the state library. We used to sit on the steps and everything. Them white folks went to the top and broke that up. But what I want to ask you, Brother Ron, what role do we play? What role do we play when the military come against these white people?
Wait, when the military comes,
the Jade Helm. Yeah, the Jade Helm. They get ready to heist these white people asses up.
Who's getting ready to do that?
Right.
Jade Helm. Huh?
Who is they?
He's saying Jade.
They look the whole Southwest. They doing large military exercise from I think it's a 3-month thing.
Okay.
And
yeah. So you're saying that they are going to, what are they going to do?
They said they're gonna get the right wingers, the Judeo Christians, the pro-abortions, the constitutionalists, anybody that loves America like white people do.
Well, you need to send me that. I ain't never heard that one before.
Well, put in Jade Helm, JADEHELM. It's an acronym. And they done closed down 4 Walmarts, and the Walmarts got underground tunnels going where they gonna heist them to the train, and the train gonna carry them to the Delta.
Wow.
And they talking about they gonna kill up to 80 million. But
wait. Do you have any information on this, or you just talking?
Everybody talking about it, Brother Rob. I don't know why black people.
Listen to me. I'm asking you a question.
Look,
do you
all
have
you got to do, I'm telling you, I'm not computer savvy, and I don't fool with the computer like that. I'm not even on Facebook. I don't fool with it like that. You know, it ain't no but a setup. Put in Jade Helm. All the white folks talking about what black folks ain't talking about. They talking about some kind of scale tactics and this. Them niggas not in reality, man.
All right, brother. All right. I'm going to look it up and see where you're coming from. How about that?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of that one, brother. You got me. But anyway, I appreciate your call. Okay?
Ron, I have a caller, too.
All right, go ahead.
Area code 336-618.
Yes, hello?
Yes.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Go ahead, brother. What you got?
I just wanted to call. I'm a proud member of the United States Military Armed Forces. And
all right.
I wanted to kind of respond on what the brother was talking about, and also I want to respond on this vibration I've been getting from the Lord, and it's a vibration more of a people being recognized as a people, and I just say this first about the people that he's been showing me. He said that we marched and we fought for our rights to vote. He said that we marched and we fought for our rights to be integrated as a people. And he showed me something, brother, and he showed me something that weighs heavy on my heart. And he showed me something that government is getting ready to prepare themselves for. And it ain't for white people. It's for people.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because we're in our day. And with that being said, though, brown and black. But with that being said, though, brother, he told me that how we've been fighting for our rights and marching a long time and getting our rights here and there, and along with the course of time, we get a little bit more rights here and there. And he showed me something that there's a failure in the system. There's a failure in the way we think as people. There's a failure in the system. And
okay.
He showed me that we are natural born citizens of the United States. We ought not to have to be marching and fighting for no rights at all, because these rights are inherited to us as being natural born citizens of the United States of America. So now we have a citizenship issue. We have a recognition problem, a problem of being recognized as a citizen of the United States of America. We are not to be having to keep fighting.
Okay, I'm asking you, did he give you any solution? What should we be doing? What you're saying that we all are aware of, but what did he tell you we should do?
Well, brother, he showed me something, and he showed me that we must petition. We must do a petition, and
okay.
This petition we have to get everybody in all 50 states of the United States of America on board, and because this is the problem behind the problem. All our problems lies behind this problem.
Okay.
And that is because we're not being recognized as citizens of the United States. And he showed me, and he's educating me and trying to bring me into the elders and also into other enlightened minds to put together a petition, not only to the United States government but to the United Nations, and take this thing global and international, that we must be as a people recognized as the Armenian people, as the Aboriginal people, and as every other culture of people who has come from under colonialism by being identified as a people. And we never have been identified. Therefore, we're still under colonialism.
Yes, but brother, slow down a minute, slow down. How old are you, may I ask? And I'm only let me tell you why I'm asking. I'm asking you that because what you're saying, I've studied it extensively, and I've taught it extensively. And to organize and start setting up a petition to go to all 50 states is a very, very difficult task. So I was wondering and hoping that this intervention that you're talking about had some clear solutions where we could get something done in the near future rather than waiting on them to wipe us out. So do you have anything along those lines?
That's right.
Okay, so what do you have?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he showed me how that the NAACP, the SCLC, the Nation of Islam, he showed me how black leaders in America and black organizations in America has to come to this same mindset, and it has to come to this understanding that there is this problem, and we can do that. I mean, we can do that. We are a plan-strategizing people, and we are survivors. We are a remnant of God's people, and we will survive, and that's how we got to do it, brother.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
listen,
Yes,
if you
sir.
get some more information, please call back and let us know, because it's interesting what you're saying, but it's kind of like old news. You just keep going over the same thing.
Yeah.
We've been in bondage for 200 years, and no one has came up with a solution. They all come up with what you're talking about, and that is that we got a problem. And I'm the first to agree.
Yeah.
That's why my job is to try and raise the consciousness of people, because the answer is out there. I may not have it, you may not have it, but somebody's got that answer, and we're going to deal with it. All right? So when you get some more info, call back, and we'll give you plenty of time to run it. Well, is that fair enough?
Plant the seed in the mind of the youth.
That's a good
plant the seed
idea.
in the mind of the youth, and they're going to do it.
Yep. All right. All right, Ben, we got anybody else?
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
Yep.
Huh?
All right. Do you have any other callers?
No, that's it. That's it for now.
Okay. Well, we're very close to the top of the hour, and let's take a break. But you know what? I just looked up this Jade Helm that brother was talking about. And
how did he spell it? I couldn't hardly hear. How did he spell it?
Jade.
J-A what?
D as in dog. Jade. Jade. Helm. Helm.
Okay.
And just put that in, Jade Helm, and then it says Jade Helm. Jade Helm 15. And it's I don't know if it's true, but it's kind of interesting. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Now before we go on the break, remember a month or so ago I told you that I had heard that the Pope, he said he was coming to America. He didn't say he was coming to the United States.
Yes. Wait a minute. Go ahead. All right.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay. And so the Pope is coming to Detroit the end of May.
All right. And he's going to do what?
I don't know. I just heard he was coming here, but I was just saying that he didn't say he was coming to the United States. He said he was coming to America.
All right.
And he's coming here, so it's something going on with Michigan Energy.
Wow, that's
Detroit
interesting.
Energy.
Yes, because Detroit was one of the main cities in regards to that Jubilee in 2013, that all the bills supposed to have been canceled out. So you're right.
Okay.
I'll do some research on that. Yep. All right, Bev. Have my DNA today.
Okay.
And your friend and mine, Dr. Yaffa, gave me some information on, checking it out. And I did it back in, I don't know, January, February, back in February. And I finally got it today. And it shows that I have 82% African and 9% Native American. And she said that is wonderful because they stopped recognizing Native American. It was always 5 or less percent. And I'm looking at my chart right now, and I have 9% African, 82% European, and 5% European, 5%, and 4% East Asian. But I got 9% Indigenous American, not Native American, Indigenous American, which is all good. She thought it was. She thought that was very good. That
Now, is that something is that part of what we need?
No, it's something that you can use. It's got something to do with owning the land. And I'm going to get back with her. We're going to have her on. How did we work that last time we talked about it? Saturday. I'm looking for a phone call tonight or tomorrow to see if Brother Tarvis L will be back on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm leaving town Tuesday, so I won't be on Tuesday, and I won't be back until next Tuesday. So we'll skip 1 week with you.
Okay. So maybe we can have her on when you come back.
Okay. I will call her because I sent her an email this morning to I showed her my DNA results. So I'm sure that she would probably want to come on and we can talk about it. And we can find out what you're talking about. Okay?
Okay. All right.
All right. Now, I told you I looked up, and make sure I still got it. That did you get a chance to look up that?
I was reading it.
Yeah. So maybe I'll do more research, and we could do that sometime soon if we have time. It looked kind of critical. The brother, I don't know where this comes from. I never heard of it. I see where the Texas governor orders the state guard to monitor Jade Helm, citing citizens' concern. People are becoming concerned about it. So I don't know what their goal is and where they're going with it and who they are, but I will check it out. Now, let's go to my website. Let me close this out. And I want to go to my website because I am having a major problem.
Now, tell the people, what is your website? Ron March what?
RonMarch.com.
Okay.
You can Google it. I'm doing it right now, RonMarch.com. There you go. I Googled it, and it's coming up. Yes, it came right up when you Google RonMarch.com. Then you go across the top until you get to blog. That's the third entry. It says blog.
Okay.
Now, we wait for it to open, and then we have at least the first, I'm looking at it. The first title of the first article is Temple Number 9, District 17, The Science of the Moor. And then it says word Moor, Moor, or Moors. You can pronounce that any way you can. And then we're going down. We're going way down. That is a good article, that whole package.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah. Okay. So now we go into the second article. This is Ouachita Moors. And we'll go down on that one. And now we got, this is one that's quite interesting. From the desk of Elkim Mayat Kayat Bey. That's my spiritual name. Redemption of your straw man account. Filing a UCC-1 with the Treasury Department. Is there a Treasury bond in my name? People have to read. I'm gonna hang up or stop answering the phone because they call and ask questions. It's right on the website. Plus, they call and say, "Well, I want to make sure that I'm reading this right." I can't take it. What does that mean?
Now, what are you? Is this before your before the solution of the planet, Peter Eugene? Is it before that or after that?
You mean you done messed me up. Pangea? Are you saying you talking about Pangea?
I don't know. I'm saying this video. There's a video on here. Is it before the video or after? I'm trying to find. What did you say?
Well, it's right up under the Ouachita Moors. It's the next article.
Oh, I went way too far. Okay.
Yeah. It's right up under Ouachita Moors.
Okay.
It's from the and it giving you the process, redemption process. Okay. Now, most of us have already done this total treasury package. I did it probably in 2010, but it was not done correctly. Now, here's what we did. We did a UCC1 when we thought we were capturing the straw man. We got a copy of our birth certificate and we stamped it except for value. We did another document called revocation of signature. We did another document called security agreement. And we did a final document, and it's not coming to me right away, but there were 5 documents that we did, and we mailed them to the Treasury Department. And all we got back was our green cards. That's all we got back. As we begin to use our information, as far as I'm concerned, it never did work well. And now that I'm learning more about it, and I think the reason it didn't work well is because we did not have control of our straw man. We thought by capturing it with the UCC and stamping our birth certificate from the state that you were born, stamping it with, except for value, that everything was supposed to work. But apparently it did not. Now, this article tells you about that, but when they talk about your birth certificate, they're talking about you not only capturing your birth certificate, but your status will change from a debtor to a creditor. That's very important. You become a creditor, a secured creditor, when you capture your birth certificate. You got that, Beth?
Yeah.
Now, when you go back and
now, when you say you become a let me see if I got it. You say you become a creditor. So now this means you in a position to get money instead of paying out so much money.
Yes.
Is that what it's saying?
Yes. You become a banker. A secured creditor is a banker.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind there is no money.
Right.
So if you get tangled up with the bull crap, you're going to be in trouble because the marshals and the treasury agents will come after your butt. Back in the day.
Is that the TFEA people or whoever that is?
ATF to ATF?
Yeah.
No. They are attached. That's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Okay.
That belongs to the Internal Revenue or taxes. Okay? And when you look at the Constitution, we might as well talk about that while you brought it up. The Constitution gives United States the right to tax commerce. It gives them the right to tax commerce. That's why you have to pay when you drive, because you are a truck driver, bus driver, semi-driver, train driver, I guess you could say. But all of those drivers are doing commercial work for profit. And they have a right to tax you. Now, when you travel, they do not have a right to tax you. They don't have a right to even interfere with you when you travel. I can't say it any clearer. But see, you notice the language change. When I say travel, I'm not going to get trapped, or I don't want to get trapped in a statement or a question from the police officer. You show me your license because you ran a stoplight. Or show me your license because you were driving over the speed limit. Anytime you comment or reply, you create a oral contract. I can't say it any clearer. You create a oral contract. And when you call me, you don't have to lie to me and say I didn't do it. I didn't do that. I didn't do it. Yeah. He is not an idiot. He, the police officer, has been trained to trap you. Stop calling me. I'm not a police officer. I'm telling you now. Once he traps you into a contract, he's got you. There's no ifs and buts about it. You don't have to none of your madness. Go ahead, man.
So are you saying that when the police officer pulls somebody over, and just say that the person is saying, well, why you pull me over? I got my rights. What are you pulling me over for? You can't. So you saying that informed the contract, and that causes, that gives the police permission to pull you out the car and beat you upside the head.
Beat the hell out of you. Now let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
If you say to the police officer, why are you pulling me over? Now, that is a confrontational statement, if you ask me.
Okay.
Now, why is it confrontation, if you ask me? Because I know your driver's license says that you're in all capital letters. I don't even have to see it to know that. That's why old Sarge was a piece of shit when he called in, because he refused to even talk about that. Because he knows that that's one of the keys that they know they can get you with. If you say, I do not have Michigan driver's license, now you have him over the barrel. He should ask, what kind of license do you have? He's still trying to create a contract with you. You see? So you could say, I don't have any. And there's no law that says I have to have traveling license because, number one, I am not driving. Now, number one, the cop told me when I went before the judge, well, actually, I didn't know what I know now because they took me before a magistrate. I should have beat his butt just because he was sitting up there. But he said to me, was the motor running? Did you have your hands on the steering wheel? Was the keys in the ignition? Well, I didn't answer, but he said, yes, I know it was. So we consider that driving. Now, there's no need to argue with that punk. He's the end of the road. Your next step is to file charges against him. You got to know when you have a battle, you know when you lost or when there's an opportunity to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, and I'm staying away from the birth certificate because most of the people out there have not solidified their birth certificate yet. So you are a slave. Now, you can take it or leave it. I don't give a damn. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. They have the right to do anything they want to do to you. Period. Zero.
Okay, now, just say I'm a person that I own my straw man. I have my birth certificate, my authentication, or however you say that.
Authenticity. Yep.
Yes.
You have it.
I have all of that in place. Now when the police officer stopped me and I asked him, why are you pulling me over, did I still form a contract? Can he still pull me out and beat me upside the head?
Yes. Now, why? Number one, he doesn't know you got all your birth certificates. You made the biggest mistake in your life when you created a confrontation by saying the same thing. Why are you pulling me over? That sounds like, go to hell type attitude. And they take it that way. So you got to come out of it with something more pleasant. And I hate to say pleasant, but number one, and we're going to talk about it tonight, that is you need to get your injunction in place. Now, let's start with that. Since you jumped over there, Bev, let's start with that. The first thing you want to do is get your birth certificate in place. I'm going to say it. I done said it 1,000 times. You need your long-form birth certificate. From the state, not from the county. From the state. Now you need and ask for them to authenticate it. And they'll say, what do you mean authenticate it? You want the Great Seal to be on it. They know what that means. But then they'll send you in Michigan across the street to the Great Seal office, and then they will take it from there. Now, when they put the cover sheet, I just had a guy today called me from Alabama, and his brother was in the lobby in Indiana, and he wanted to read me the cover sheet to make sure he had shit. And I was so angry. Why are you calling me? All right, I said, stop. Let's do this the quick way. Is there any words on your cover sheet that says full faith and credit? It took them 10 minutes to tell me yes. I don't have that kind of time. I got things to do for myself. You kind of get what I'm saying, man?
Right.
He said, brother, read it to him. And the brother's trying to, I went down to the 2nd floor, and they told me to go to the 5th floor, and I went up there. Oh, my goodness. Listen, y'all, I'm tired of this crap. And the only way I can resolve it is hang up. Y'all ain't going to drive me crazy. I put it on the internet. I tell you what to do. Now you want to come and make sure that I got what you said to get. You cannot go to jail if you got the wrong one. Beverly made a mistake. She's not in jail.
Yep.
She had to go back and do it right because she didn't read the information or did not have the proper information. So you ain't got to tell me.
All you got to do is just have to spend more money, that's all.
And do it again.
Yeah.
That's all. You got to make a stand. How can you be free if you're going to call me every 5 minutes? Ron, the slave master turned his head. Should I run? Which way do you tell me to turn when I get to the corner? Nigga, please. Damn it. Y'all better learn how to read. I'm telling you. You don't want to read. You need to go, I'm through with it. I'm telling you. Now, you're going to get the birth certificate. Now, you know you have the Great Seal when the birth certificate is sealed and stapled or attached to the cover letter. I asked him that. He said no. I said, well, where's your birth certificate? He ruffled some papers. He said, well, it's over here and it's attached to something. I said, does the something say full faith and credit? He said, yes. I said, well, why the hell are you calling me? God damn it, why are you calling me? I mean, y'all got to understand, I got a life like everybody else. And I don't have to waste my time talking to somebody that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Ron, maybe you need to put it on a CD so you can take them step by step. They buy the CD from you, and then they can just look at it over till it click, till they get it.
You know what, Bev? That is a damn good idea. Bev, that is a damn good idea. I'm going to work on that tonight.
Yes. So instead of calling you, all they got to do is put in that CD and look at it. Because some people, it'll click the first time. Some people, it'll click the 10th time. But eventually, it's going to click.
Yes.
And they won't get your blood pressure up.
Yes, because they sure get my blood pressure. You know, when I'm into something, that's what gets me. When I'm into something, here's a phone ringing. I look over there, it's New York. It's Alabama. Yes, here they go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, now, let's go back. You're going to get that. Now, every state has different rules, regulations, and situations. Most of them are not favorable, but I do know Michigan, Georgia are favorable. Indiana, Illinois. Now, wait a minute. Let me back up. There's two ways you can get your birth certificate. Number one, you can travel to the State House. Some of y'all live near the State House. So y'all going to save money. I'm going to tell you that right now. You will save money if you know what you're doing and what you're going to get. We'll talk about that in a minute. The other way is to do it the way I have it on the internet, and that is on my website, and that is go through Vital Check. They'll do all of it for you. So now, let's talk about Vital Check first. You go through Vital Check, they're going to ask you questions, they're going to have you give them your credit card, and they'll go after your birth certificate. Because they're going to ask you, do you want it apostilled or authenticated? Now, the difference between apostilled and authenticated is United States corporations are owners, members of a larger corporation, and if you do business in a country that is in that larger corporation, you don't need to get it authenticated. You must get it apostilled. Did you get that, Beth?
Yeah, because that's where I made my mistake at.
Yes. Okay. Now, when you go and do what we tell you to do, and that's why we all stress, when I say we, I'm talking about Jonah, Yusuf, and all the brothers that's out there that know this process. We tell you, if they ask you the question, what country are you going to do business in, you must say Taiwan. Don't get fancy. I just heard the other Friday, Jonah was on, and Jonah, the guy called in and said they sent all his stuff back, and it wasn't right, because he didn't see what's your name? He didn't see full faith and credit. And Jonah said, well, what country did you put down? He said China. He said China.
Because he thought Tehran was in China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be, first you're a dummy, now you're going to be a professor. And Jonah said the same thing I would have said. Didn't I tell you to put in Taiwan? Well, I thought Taiwan belonged to China. What difference does it make? I told you that 1,000 people have done it through Taiwan, and you going to get fancy and say it's going through China? Anyway, he got to go through the whole thing again. Now, if you go to the State House to do it, if you live in a state where you can drive or go down there, I can't give you any more than specific details. Number one, you want to go to the State Department and you want to get a certified copy, quote unquote, authenticate where you want certified copy of your long form birth certificate. That's the first thing you ask for. Normally they come in a long legal size 8 by 13 sheet, and it's got green water. They call it, what they call it? Water colored. Something like that. It's going to be green in color, and it's going to be a long form. Now, you want it to be authenticated. Once you get that in your hand, tell them, I need to get it authenticated. They'll say something stupid like, what does that mean? I need the gray seal on it. Oh, okay. You got to go over there now to get it. Now, this process is in every state, but I can't tell you how they do it because I've never done it like that.
My thing is, I'd rather just go to Vital Check, and you don't have to go through all that because they're going to send you to this building, this floor, that floor. Just take Vital Check and just have them to do it for you.
I totally agree. That's what I did because they sent me. I drove to Indiana. Indianapolis is a state capitol building. It's Indianapolis. And they gave me such a runaround, and it was in February. It was snowing, storm, ice on the road. I'm trucking over there trying to get They literally told me to get the hell out of here. Didn't give me no information.
Yeah.
I was so mad I didn't know what to do. But I came back. I talked to Jonah about it, and he talked to me the way I'm talking to you. Do it online.
Yeah.
Don't give you hell. Do it online.
Exactly.
I went to Vital Check. It cost me $98, I believe. I can't remember. No, it didn't. It was cheaper because when Vital Check did it, all they sent me back was my birth certificate, long form, in the legal paper. I thought they cheated me. I called Vital Check and raised all kind of hell. They said, sir, when you fill out the application, it was right there in the application that certain places have different processes. I said, so what am I supposed to do? They said, call Indiana and ask them. I said, ain't this? So I called Indiana. She gave me another song and dance, told me she wanted a cover sheet. She wanted to know who I am, where I live, why do I want this, what country am I going to work out of? I wrote it all down. I made the cover sheet. I put my birth certificate with it, and she wanted a self-addressed stamped envelope so they didn't have to do a damn thing. I said, how much it going to cost me? She said, nothing. I said, now, you sure you doing what I... She said, sir, I do it every day. Send it. Bam. Hung up. I didn't get upset. I did it. And it took about 14 days, 10 to 14 days, it came back. Now, when it came back, it had full faith and credit on the cover sheet. It had my birth certificate on the second sheet. It had the seal of Indiana attached to the top of both. Do not detach it. If you detach it, you got to do it all over again.
Yep.
You don't want to tamper with that at the top. Don't even fool with it. Don't even look at it. Now, I got to go to the next step. The next step is to get it to John Kerry. John Kerry's office, which is the Secretary of State of Authentication Services. It's in Virginia. Somebody called and wanted to chew me out. Why am I going? They told me to go to D.C. I said, well, then send it to D.C. and stop calling me. I done told you where to send it. Oh, well, they said that it's got to go to Obama. I said, send it to Obama. I don't give a shit. Stop calling me. When they come back, don't call back. When they come back, don't call back. I'm telling you, it's got to go to Sterling, Virginia, as of this day. Now, if they change it, they'll let us know. Sterling, Virginia is where the Secretary of State's Office of Authentication Services is. It's in Sterling, Virginia. Now, when he sends it back, he's going to send his cover letter attached with a very tricky, how would you describe that little thing they put in there, Bev?
What
kind? That little button that they put in there where you can turn the federal paper all the way around, but you can't detach it. It's got a little pin thing in there. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
All right.
Wait a minute. This is the paper you got when I got it from the state before I sent it to federal.
No. When it comes back from federal, it's got a
metal. Okay. I haven't got mine yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I thought you got it back. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
They're going to send, when you send it to the state, it's going to be attached with the seal, half on the birth certificate and half on the cover sheet. Right, Bev?
Okay.
And they're going to staple it so you can't take it apart. Now, when it comes back from up there, they're going to put theirs on top, and it's going to be like a little pin that goes through all three, where you can turn the sheets, but you can't detach them. You can turn them, but you can't detach them. But you still can't turn the state because it's put together with a staple. So you got to figure out how you're going to run copies of that huge legal birth certificate without tearing them apart. So I'm going to tell you how you do it. You're going to take it to Office Max or one of them damn joints. Tell them you want a copy of the big one in green, complete copy in green, and do about 6 or 10 copies. It cost me 68 cents to do one. I went to Office Max. And I put it up so they could do it, and they put it on the machine and ran it. Now, the reason I had to do that, because my printer, it will do the legal form, but you got to have a naked sheet so it'll go through the chute. But I couldn't take it apart, and my window is too small for it to be all the way. You may have one that's big enough to do a legal copy on. Under the sheet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Under the thing. Mine is not
wait
that
a minute.
big.
Now, when you say green, are you talking about you have to do it, you just only copy the green paper, which is the birth certificate?
No.
What do you mean when you said the green paper?
You want them to copy it in color. Now, when you give it to them and say do it in color, if it's red, it'll come out red. If it's green, it'll come out green.
I got you.
Whatever color.
Not in black and white. It's got to be in color.
Yes. Okay. Because you're going to get copies, because every time you use your package, now you're not going to send your originals nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should say it again. Y'all write this down so you don't call me and say I sent it to somebody. Do not send your original to no place. Hide it. Once you get copies, hide it. Put it somewhere.
You better put it in your safe somewhere.
Yes. All birth certificates that have been authenticated are worth millions of dollars. And if you read my article,
and you know what, Ron?
Yes.
I can tell you when the mailman brought mine, and I haven't even finished the process, he acted like he was giving me $1 million. He kept saying, do you know what this is? And, I mean, I was like, yeah, I know what it is, but that showed me how important that paper was through the mailman.
Yes, and you had to sign for it.
Yes,
He could not leave it with somebody or leave it in your mailbox. You have to sign. So now I don't know what else to tell y'all. Y'all better listen, because I'm hanging up. Y'all call me with this madness. I'm telling you, listen. Use common sense. We're dealing with the most important document in your life. You'll never get another document as important as your authenticated birth certificate. You just can't do it. The only thing close is the mortgage that you sign when you buy a home. But it ain't even close. Mortgages black folks only buying $115,000, $20,000, $30,000. We're talking millions of dollars with that birth certificate. I can't stress it any deeper. If you don't know what you're doing, hang up, go somewhere else, or study. Start reading. Go to Google, put in there birth certificate, value of your birth certificate. Do anything. If you Google anything, it'll come up. You got to study. You got to know what you're doing. I can't give you all the knowledge I got, or better yet, it ain't no knowledge, experience. I lived it. I done made goo-gaws of mistakes. Goo-gaws. I done spent goo-gaws of money. I don't know what else to tell you. I was mad. I was angry. Go ahead, Bill.
Now, when we get this $1 million piece of paper here, okay, what do we do with it?
All righty. I've already used mine for the first time. IRS had tapped my income 1 month. I ran copies. Once you get to the first phase, is you got it back from John Kerry. His signature's on the bottom. It says in there, full faith and credit, everything ready to go. Now, you got to do a affidavit. Why do you do an affidavit? Same way I told you, Bear, about the traffic cop. Nobody knows you got that. I had my birth certificate. Did you show it to anybody? No, I thought they would know because the government sent it to me. Oh, damn. What kind of idiot am I talking to? You're going to get some dumbass cop on the street with a pistol, going to listen to you telling them about you got something and you got it at home. Somebody help that child. If I was a cop, I'd bust you upside the head. I'm telling you, it's foolish. You're not thinking. So what you have to do, you got to get that affidavit in place. Now, I put the affidavit on the internet. Write it right down there. Affidavit lets them know that you have done everything and you own and control your birth record. Now, the next thing I did a cover sheet because they charged me because I paid for my taxes through except for value, and they just said the hell with it, go ahead and take his money to see what he'll do. They're trying me. This is something else you got to learn. I can give you all the information in the world that work with Jesus, and you're going to run into an idiot out there and say the hell with Jesus. Go ahead and take his money. Let's see what he'll do. See if he knows what the hell he's doing. Okay? So I did a cover sheet. I put the laws in that gave me permission to use the except for value. I put it in there in 1833 when they set up HJR 192. I kept thinking maybe I didn't do enough. But then something came to me because I didn't mail it all out. Ron, be nice. If they don't recognize you being nice, then you get angry. Okay? I said okay. So here's what I said. Cover sheet, affidavit, birth certificate from the state and from the carry, and I sent the last letter that they sent me to tell me that they were going to take my money. So they knew who they was fooling with. Now, did you get that there?
I got it.
All right. Now, I don't know what they're going to do.
So when you send your package in, you got to send the cover letter, the affidavit, your birth certificate, and whatever letter from whoever you're dealing with.
Yes. Okay. Now, the letter that they sent me, it was like a two-part. At the top, that was supposed to have been the Bible class. They told me that they belong. I can't remember the title of it, but what it meant was they were doing the audit, and they looked at my crap and said that I owed. So they sent the approval to the second company, which all of them was the IRS, and said to me from the top, if you have any problems, talk to the lower company on the sheet. Well, you know I didn't give a damn about that. It's my money. So I went and looked up the first company, and I went straight to the CFO. I got his name because I'm going to burn him a new one. Then I went to the second one and got the CFO there. I sent 2 packages, one to the top and one to the bottom. So they can't say they didn't get it. All of this comes from experience. I can't teach y'all all of this. You got to get your feet wet. You got to get out there and deal with this thing and figure out, because what you got is dynamite. The knowledge you have, as what's your name says, is a silver bullet. But you got to figure out how to deal with it. Go ahead.
Now, when you sent the information, your package out, is it good to send it out and have it that they have to sign for it, or that's not necessary? Okay.
Oh. Bet. Didn't I tell you corporations can't talk?
Yes.
Didn't I tell you that they don't have hands? They can't hold a pencil? Mm-hmm. So it didn't do any good to send it to the CFO if you didn't make him sign for it. That's what I mean. Common sense. Think about what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because he can say, well, I didn't see it. when I take his ass to court, because that's where we're going. We're going to end up in court. So if he says, well, Judge, we got all these little niggers that think they know something. He's one of them Moors and blah, blah, blah. They not, all that old crap. Judge is in their corner, all that. So the judge say, throw it out. And I'm going to say, wait a minute. I got the green card here. He receives it on this date. So he can't say he didn't know. And listen to this. I think I mentioned the last time I was on the air. You got to learn what a administrative remedy process is. It's called administrative remedy. Maybe I should put that on the internet, on my website.
Yeah.
It's called you got to send 3 letters. Listen to me carefully. They're not going to answer you, Bev. That one green card, they'll lie and say they didn't get it. Ain't no big deal. Well, I know they're going to try to brush me off on my initial packet. I've already have written that in my heart. They ain't going to answer. So I know I got to start what they call my administrative remedy. Now, the best administrative remedy that you can ever start with or produce, the first letter is called conditional except for value. I want y'all to look up. Let me get a pencil. Got it right here so I can say it right. It's called C, conditional, A, F, V. Write that down, Bev. C is in capital.
I got it wrote down.
All right.
Yep.
It's called conditional except for value. Now you can add on the back when you Google it. Just put on the back IRS. If you're dealing with a corporation like General Motors or whatever, put that on the back. Because it'll come up. So my first letter, which is going to be my notice, is going to be a CAFV. In that, I'm going to make some very profound statements. Number one, IRC, Internal Revenue Code 6331. Violation 6331. Next code, IRC 6334. If y'all look that up, you'll start smiling like a Cheshire cat. Number 5, I got a couple of federal lawsuits that said, except for, first it says there's no money, and then it says except for value can be used as an instrument, a negotiable instrument. And I had something else, number 4, I can't think of it right, but that's good enough right there. Now, at the end of this, there's going to be a paragraph that says, since y'all got my money, you done hit me 2 months in a row. They already got 1 month, and I look for them to take the next month, because if nothing else, they'll say the paperwork didn't come through fast enough. I'm going to tell them they got 10 days to answer this CAFV. 10 days. I want my money, and I want it right now. I ain't rich. And they won't answer, but I'm going to send it certified mail, because I got it. Then I got to send letter number 2. We're still in the administrative process. Letter number 2 is called opportunity to cure. In the opportunity to cure, I'm going to say I sent you the first letter with my birth certificate and my secured party status, and I did not get an answer. I did not get a remedy. I sent you the notice, the condition. I gave you 10 days. You didn't answer. I'm going to give you another 5 days. I'm going to give them another 5 days to answer the opt to cure. And they probably still won't answer. And I'm sending all of this to the CFO now. I'm nailing their butt to the cross. The last letter in your administrative remedy is called Notice of Default and Dishonor. And once I give them 5 days to answer that, If they don't answer it, now I got enough to go downtown and press federal charges against both CFOs. Got it?
Okay. Got it.
Now, I told you about, and I haven't done this. I got to tell y'all this, so hang on. Rule 5.1. That's since IRS is federal, you may want to challenge paying taxes. You need to ask them, is that a legal? That's a statute, and statutes are not legal for a secured party. It's not lawful. You may have to bring that up next time. But you can challenge any rule. When you get a letter from them, they always tell you what gave them the right to do it. You need to look up all of those quote-unquote rights and challenge them. And you're going to find that those so-called rules do not apply to you. And 6331 tells you that it don't apply to you. Any questions, Bev?
No, and I don't have any questions on the line either.
I think everybody's listening.
Yes, I mean, everybody was listening and writing.
Yes. Now, let me say this before we go. Your last document that goes with your package of birth certificate, affidavit, the last package is called your injunction. Let me say this. Jonah Bay has a 3.5 hour DVD, and it explains not only the injunction, it goes deep into every avenue of redemption that you can imagine. I have permission. He gave me the honor. I'm selling that baby for $100.50. Now, you can take it or leave it. And the reason is because he sells it. You go to his website, he sells it in a package for about $500, but he's got three other DVDs in there. But Bev, you know what DVD I'm talking about. And I wonder if you have listened to the whole thing yet. Have you listened to it?
Yeah, I listened to it, but it's so much, I got to listen again.
Yes.
Because while you listen to it, you got to sit and take notes.
Yes, you do. And I'm telling you, everything you need to know for redemption is on that tape, that DVD. And the first thing he's going to tell you, or what you need to do, is be sure you have your birth certificate in line. So you can go to my website or do some research. And let me tell you how to do the research. Look up preventive injunction. If you look up injunction, it's going to give you, I think it's five different types of injunctions. One of them is called preventive. That's the one, Bev, that when you put this injunction together for your package, is the one that's going to stop them from fooling with you in the car. Because once they stop you, the clock starts running. Now, you ain't got to get nasty with them, but you can make it clear. He's going to take your license and go back, or whatever you got, no license, your ID, let's say ID. And he's going to take it back to his squad car and look it up. If your injunction is in place where it's supposed to be, he's going to come back and give you your license, your ID back, and say, have a nice day. That's what he's supposed to do. But if he started this is from you giving the police, the sheriff, all of them that where you drive around, you give them all notice. Yes. But
that's
now don't say
get it, right?
Yes. But you don't want to say it the way you said it. You want to say it, you're going to give the chief of police a copy. You're going to give the Secretary of State a copy, of the Attorney General a copy. You can send the presiding judge of the traffic court, if you want to, a copy. You dig it? Because they all are going to be liable for anything that happens to you. It's almost like what do you get when your wife beats you up? I mean your husband beat up the wife. She go down and get a restraining order, right? This injunction is a preventive injunction. It's like a restraining order. And if anybody knows what a restraining order is, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, just say, for instance, a person goes to work every day, but on their way to and from work, they go through, say, 4 different counties. So you have to go to each county and make sure that the police...
Stop. You ain't have to do nothing. And I'm stopping you because the language you're using is not good language.
Okay.
If you feel like you're going to have a problem, you could send it to them. But if you don't and get stopped and get a ticket, you can put all of that in your appearance, your special appearance before you go to court. You can send all that to that county and put them on notice at that time. You ain't got to. I'm trying to get you away from for setting up confrontations.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped the language. You ain't got to do nothing. But if you if you get busted, you're going to have to go. They're going to give you a court date, and then you're going to have 7 to 10 days before your court date. You want to be sure and get your and you need to look this up too. Special invitation is what it's called.
Okay.
And in that, baby, you're going to hang everything you can think of. You have a right to travel and everything. And the laws that they use to stop you are laws that you're going to charge them with, meaning he stopped you and held you for 15 minutes to give you a ticket. Well, you're going to charge him $1,000 a minute. And if he takes you to court or jail, you're going to charge X number of dollars for that. All of that's in your preventive, that's all in a preventive injunction, and that's what this injunction is all about.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and it's all a learning process. I don't have all of the answers, but I know enough to think, because I know that what I'm doing is correct. That's the first fear that I got rid of. Once I realized, and I'm stronger now, Bill, since I know I'm an indigenous, I'm an indigenous American. So I got rights that Peckerwood don't have. Now, it can make me arrogant, go out and slap one of them, but I ain't going that route. But understand, I know my rights. And I'm not going to argue with a police officer on the street about my rights. And if I have to go to court, I'm not going to argue with that judge. You don't pay. You see what I'm saying? Because I know I'm right. So when I get out of it, I'm going to hang so much paper on them that they're going to be in big trouble.
Gotcha.
You got it? Yep.
Gotcha.
And once you get your head on right, you'll be surprised that nobody's going to start fooling with you. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got to brag, but I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've been here. I've been here before. I know. The more I learn, the stronger I get. And the heavier and brighter my aura is. And the less I see of them. Niggers and Peckerwoods. Because the niggas ain't no good either. So you got to watch them as you watch the Peckerwoods. Really, you got to watch them better and more than the Peckerwood, because they can get close to you and bust you upside your head. You don't even know where you hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, let's, at the top of the hour, we won't be back, Kev. We won't be back next week.
So everybody know that we won't do a show next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, and you're also going to see if our guest could be Dr. Yafa Bay.
Yes, I'm going to call her.
Okay.
And be sure and tune in Saturday, because this brother's supposed to call me today or tomorrow and let me know if he can be on Saturday. That'll be my last show for a week.
Okay, now is that the one that you had? Is that the person that was on last Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
ma'am.
Well, as always, it was a pleasure. We appreciate you for giving us this knowledge, and enjoy and have a safe trip.